What's going on over Only Sports? Back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be doing my weekly picks and preview prediction for the New York Giants as they take on the Seattle Seahawks this week. It's week 8 in the NFL as the Giants are coming in at 6-1. The Seahawks coming in at 4-3, and the Giants have a tough road game against the Seahawks at Lumen Field. A very tough environment to play in. And the Giants open up. Or at this current point in time, they're 3-point underdogs, as they really have been all year. And in this game, I'm going to pick the New York Giants to win the game. I think they're going to win this one again and move to 7-1. I think they get an upset win here. Over the Seattle Seahawks, who have been, they've looked really good. But ultimately, I think the Giants win this football game by a narrow margin of 26-23. I think it's going to be a 3-point Giants win, not a 3-point Seahawks win like the line says. But let's start off by taking a look at the injury reports for both teams. We'll start off with the New York Giants. Of course, Daniel Bellinger, Ben Bredeson, Cordell Flott, Kenny Golladay, Evan Neal, and Oshane Ximines are out already. Of course, we already knew that these guys would not play in this football game, so no surprise there. And then there's 3 guys questionable. Jason Pinnock, he's a special teamer. Tyree Phillips, who if he plays, which I expect him to play, he was a limited participant in practice all week, but if he does play, which I expect him to, he'll probably start at right tackle. And then Leonard Williams is also questionable, but I expect him to play as he practiced all week with that limited tag. And then moving on to the Seattle Seahawks side of things, Penny Hart, he's doubtful to play. He's the only guy listed as doubtful. One guy is out with a concussion. That's Nick Bellore. He didn't practice all week, so he will not suit up for this football game. But they have a lot of questionable tags on their football team. Gabe Jackson, the guard, he logged a full practice on Thursday and a limited practice today, so he's questionable. Tyler Lockett, he practiced in full yesterday, but not today. He was a limited participant with that hamstring injury. Of course, he is also questionable in this game. Darrell Taylor is questionable. Poona Ford is questionable. Phil Haynes, the other guard, is questionable. And then, of course, DK Metcalf is questionable. But don't expect DK Metcalf to play in this football game. At this point in time, I really wouldn't expect him to play. I would expect Lockett, though, to play. But as for Metcalf with that knee injury, I think they waited out another week as he didn't practice until today when he was limited. So I'm surprised he's not listed as doubtful, but he's questionable. Maybe some mind games there from Pete Carroll. But I don't expect DK Metcalf to play in this football game on Sunday. I should have mentioned at the top of the video that this is a 4:25 p.m. Eastern start time. Of course, being out on the West Coast, the Giants obviously will start this game of the middle of the pack games, the later outside of the prime time on the Sunday. And you take a look at the last time the Giants were in Seattle, it fared really well for them. Of course, much like it was 2 years ago. The Seattle run defense is not good. It actually ranks this year bottom 2 or 3 in the league. And that was the recipe for the New York Giants to win that football game 2 years ago. With Wayne Gallman, just run the football down their throat and force them to stop the run. And I think that's the approach that the Giants are going to have to take this week again. They have Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones as a 1-2 punch, so there's absolutely no reason they should move away from the run. Now, are they going to throw the football? Absolutely. I would expect Jones to probably have 23 to 27 pass attempts in that range. Where you take a look at in previous weeks, what Jones did in terms of throwing the ball and in terms of attempts to throw, pass attempts. He had 30 in the game against the Jaguars, and that was not, too many. The Giants did take a pretty run-first approach with that game. He had 27 pass attempts in both the 2 weeks prior to that, and then, of course, against Chicago where he got hurt, he only threw 13. So, really, the sample size was the last 3 games where he threw 27, 27, and 30. I would expect him to throw right around that 25 range. I think the Giants really give Saquon Barkley the football. You take a look at his workload over the past couple of weeks. Now, that was, of course, 24 carries, 22 carries, and 13 carries. I would expect him to be right around that 27 carry range. He's probably going to have 100 almost 150 rushing yards. I would not be surprised. I think the Giants really take a strong approach there, and it's going to be interesting to see with those injuries on the offensive line how, the Giants run the football, how they run block, how they pass protect when they need to. Of course, we're getting Nick Gates back from that big injury that he suffered last season in Week 2. Great story there from Nick Gates. Just really remarkable. It's unbelievable that he's even able to get back on the football field regardless of how he plays. Wouldn't expect him to play much. He'll probably get a couple snaps in, but really expect his workload to maybe pick up a little bit after the bye when he has a couple more weeks to practice and recover from that injury and slowly start to get back into playing shape. But overall, like I said, I think the Giants are really going to have to run the football well on this poorly Seattle run defense, and I think that's the recipe to victory here in this football game. But like I said, still expect Daniel Jones to throw the football, and then on the defensive side of things, Giants just got to play some good football. Geno Smith's been really, really good, but him not having Metcalf, we can't say for sure he's not going to have him, but at this point it seems unlikely. He just had a limited practice today, so wouldn't really expect Metcalf to get in there, but without one of his top 2 targets and wide receivers, expect a bit of a different game plan. The Giants, one thing that they're going to really have to do much better in this game is they're going to have to, the run defense is going to have to be a lot better. Kenneth Walker, the rookie, has been running all over everybody, and you can't have another week like last week in terms of the run defense where Travis Etienne was just running all over us. And if it weren't for that forced fumble by Xavier McKinney and the recovery by Julian Love, I'm not sure the Giants win that football game. So that was a really big play, but the Giants are going to have to do a better job defensively, especially against the run. If Lockett plays, which I would expect him to, Dory Jackson's going to have to play really hard on him, maybe get him in double coverage, and try and take it away from him and take your chances. The Giants are going to have to get pressure. The O-line for the Seahawks is improved, but it's not great. I think the Giants will be able to get pressure with Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams, of course, if Leo plays. But it's going to be an awesome week, very interesting. I'm really, really excited for this football game, and I got the Giants winning, like I said, 26-23. I think it's going to be a real good game. Pretty middle scoring game, and I'm really excited as a New York Giants fan to try and move to 7-1. But guys, that is all I got in this video. You guys let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on my preview and prediction for this football game. Who do you guys got in this game, and what do you have in terms of the score? Let me know all that good stuff down below in the comment section. As always, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. See you guys all in the next video, and as always, let's go Giants.